Nate Marchand, personal journal. I'm recording this at the Lomstov Church in Fossbergom, Norway. Why? Because Jimmy made good on not letting me ride with him to catch Bill the Jotnar. To make sure he wouldn't be confused for another Jotnar, he was tagged with a microchip. Thankfully, the chip hasn't completely decayed, so he was relatively easy to track. I was excited to see this goober and crack jokes about him lurking in the dark corners of the internet, which is something I didn't do on the episode, weirdly enough. But Jimmy immediately put the kibosh on that.
Did you forget that trolls go berserk if they smell Christian blood? You and Erik would be liabilities. Uber-Moguera is barely being held together with duct tape and chewing gum.
Jimmy said he'd drop me and Erik off at Fossbergom, and then meet Hans the Trollhunter at the outskirts of the Jotunheimen Mountains. Hans will distract Bill with the UV spotlight on his Land Rover, while Jimmy uses Uber-Moguera to inject the troll with a tranquilizer developed by Hans's veterinarian friend. The villagers were startled by Uber-Moguera flying over them and landing just outside town. I think a few of them thought our mecha was ugly enough to be a troll. You'd think Jimmy would be offended by that, but even he admits his robot is a less than aesthetically pleasing techno patchwork. After the mecha flew away, the twilight of dusk fell across the Norwegian landscape. Erik decided to go to an internet cafe to video chat with his girlfriend Kate and get dinner. He asked me if I wanted to join, but I said I wasn't hungry and would meet him afterward. Did I lie? Not entirely. I was too depressed to eat anything. But honestly, I didn't want to be a third wheel. Again. I wandered around the town for an hour or so. The people were friendly, but the language barrier kept us from interacting much. I found myself standing outside Lomstov Church. It's a medieval wooden church with a tall steeple and a dragon head crest. It's one of the few still in existence. I know it's an historical site, but it looks like no one has been here in years. Dusty, empty, and forgotten. I know the feeling. You know you're in wild kaiju territory when none of the locals are worried about the brawl going on in the distance. A brawl involving a man with everything to live for. Achievements, job security, the love of a good woman. You'd think he wouldn't want to risk all that and leave it to someone with nothing to lose. Like me. I know Jimmy's been through a lot. I told him he deserved happiness, and he'd fought hard to claim every ounce he has. Just wish I knew why everything is blocking me from having the same. Yeah, I work at a wonderland full of kaiju, but what have I accomplished since I moved to the island? I collect big monster movies and talk about silly geek stuff on the radio. Supposing the border a few years ago happened by accident, it was more Jimmy's doing. Promotion when Winter ran things was a cruel joke. Plan to oust him was nothing compared to his supervillain level masterminding. It was David and Goliath won. I let myself stoop to his level for the so-called greater good. And what I get as a reward? Huh. My bosses demoted me to a gopher by letting kaiju escape and sending me after them. Pure, undiluted spite. Sometimes I wonder why I even stick around. Even Wonderland is ruled by a decapitation-happy queen. And what have I done on this glorified fetch quest? A lot of nothing. It's been Jimmy and everyone else solving the problems. If I suggested anything, it got me nothing but resentment. Since I arrived on that damned island, I've been nothing but reporter Steve Martin, always observing and never contributing. At least Martin's reporting was appreciated. The board might even cancel my contract at the end of the year because of poor job performance. Sounds like it's getting intense over there. Huh. Bill's stubborn even by troll standards. Anyway, it's taken everything in me not to blast the airwaves or social media with my misery. I know Jimmy and Kaguya have figured at least some of it out. But I won't have anyone's pity or condemnation. This pain will be my secret. A secret I'll take to the grave. I think the big dang hero just bagged his prey. Was it really that much easier without me in the Mecca? Trolls hate church bells, right? Ugh. Wow. Even when hopped up on tranquilizer, church bells enrage Bill. That's some deep-seated hatred. But at least Jimmy's win was a little more earned. End journal entry. MIFV, episode 98, Epilogue. For Whom the Bell Trolls. Starring Nathan Marchand as MIFV Nate. Written, directed, produced, and edited by Nathan Marchand. Sound effects sourced from freesound.org. Our story segments were made possible by the generous MIFV Max members on Patreon, including executive producer Damon Noyes. This is a fan production, and no copyright infringement is intended or implied. All characters, video clips, and audio clips belong to their respective copyright holders. MIFV is a Moonlighting Ninjas media production and a proud member of Pod Nation. Thank you for listening. Next time, Rex Dart Eskimo Spy.